The brain is back, and as usual, he's out to get Aquaman.
Now, my magnificent computer is programmed with every known fact about Aquaman.
Ready. Operational.
Good. In a moment, we shall have a scientific formula for his destruction.
He'd have it quicker if he'd stop making speeches and just ask the question.
Listen closely. Question. How can Aquaman be destroyed?
Answer. Use positive buoyancy. Ray make Aquaman float to surface totally helpless.
In other words, keep him out of water. If he's out of water for an hour, he dies. We've heard that before, and I don't know why the brain doesn't already know it.
Now, what is the main ingredient for a positive buoyancy ray?
Answer. Oxymite. Mined from deep sea emeralds.
I tried as many different spellings as I could think of, and apparently oxymite is a made-up substance. That's not important. What is important is Aquaman happens to have a gemstone depository where there's a whole passel of those emeralds. Brain and his brainlets will board his new submarine and head over to it.
A light flashes on his underwater detection system board.
Man-made explosion. Grid coordinates X-ray 309. Kilo 14. Leap lampreys, Aquaman. That's
The gem depository. Let's go.
Based on that map, the gem depository is somewhere between Mongolia and Siberia. Brain doesn't need his positive buoyancy ray. It'll take Aquaman more than an hour to walk to it, so he'll take care of his own demise.
I'll sneak up on them alone, Aqualad. You follow with Tusky and the horses.
Fire viscosity gun. Quick.
that ray. Made the water like chewing gum. I can't move.
And he'll do his best to avoid it, but they'll get Aquaman too.
Trapped like jellied eels. That will hold them long enough to distill the oxymite from the emerald. Then we'll come back and finish them for good.
He has them helpless, and he's got tons of weapons on that sub. Why doesn't he just blast them now? Because the computer told him to do it the other way, and we always obey the computer. At least in 1967 we thought we were supposed to. Little did we know, right? Too bad Aquaman and company won't be there when he gets back.
High-frequency sound waves.
Right. See how they break up the molecules of this goo?
Great! I can move now.
Not much time left to stop the brain. Come on.
Aquaman is mistaken. There's no time to stop the brain. He's distilled his oxymite and built his ray.
It works! And now to make Aquaman and Aqualad float to the surface. Stand by.
Aquaman sees the floating mountains and knows what's happening. Time to summon his army.
Scatter.
Forget the fish! Hit Aquaman! Get out there and pin him down somehow!
Pinning Aquaman down is going to take some effort. The trick is for the brainlings to keep him busy so Brain can hit him with the ray while he's distracted. Not like that.
Aqualad, look out!
Help! I'm floating up!
So is everything else in the ocean. At least it might be a chance to clean up some of the junk.
Only one way to deal with that. Come on, Cyclops, old buddy. I've got a job for you. Hope the brain doesn't know a fish like you exists.
He couldn't call him telepathically? Is that what's so special about him?
When I give the signal, open up that one big, beautiful eye of yours.
He's heading for us on a weird fish.
Now! Bullseye!
The scientist who figured out that thing's evolutionary history wound up in a mental hospital counting imaginary butterflies. While Brain and the Subbrains abandon ship, Aquaman grabs the buoyancy ray.
I reverse its polarity, throw it on wide beam, and release my team.
We can swim again. Back in the old ball game. Let's go.
Not to mention all that garbage the surface dwellers have tossed down there. With a little more precision, he could have left that stuff up there for us to deal with. And you know that fancy sub of Brains?
Did the Brain get out in time, Aquaman?
If he did, it'll be a while before he shows up again.
Now it's many little sub-subs. Aquaman doesn't seem to care whether they killed Brain or not. There's a reason for that. It's in his contract that that stuff is somebody else's problem. Tusky had no idea he looked like that, and it appalled him. Several plastic surgeries later, he showed off his new face. Nobody had the heart to tell him he still just looked like a walrus. The surface would... It's in his... There's a typo. Hid? In his contract.